Hello. Who's that? What's going on, puppy? What's happening, pup? If you're watching this as a VOD, as a replay, it might take a minute for this to get good because it's a surprise live. Yeah, it's a surprise live. And it would take a sec for people to join, but yeah, stick around because it should get good pretty soon. Let me close all these random notifications. Oh my goodness, I'm trying to close these random notifications. I guess I can't. Okay, they're just there. I hate when that happens. Hello, if you're watching. Hello, hi. How is everyone tonight? This is Miss Daisy. Oh, are you tired? Don't be tired. I guess this is an ASMR stream. Hi, Vera. Look who I have. I have a new friend. Hi, dude. Sweet girl. She's very cute. She's a sweet girl. She just likes to give kisses and be very silly. Yes, she does. Oh my gosh, yes, she does. Yes, she does. She loves to. She could do this all day long. Her name is Daisy. This is who I'm in California for. Ugh. Yep, this is the whole reason I'm here is for this girl. And she's very good. Say hi, Daisy. Hi. She's so cute. You come off well on camera. Look at this cute girl. Like a hairy version of Snoopy. Yeah, I know. She's very Snoopy coated. Anyway, look what I found here in the house. I found some trivia games. So I thought that, let me move this up away from the dog for a second. We'd play some games. We've got American Revolution, medieval times, explorers, and ancient civilizations. So which one should we do first? American Revolution for 100, please, says Vera. Okay, let's do that. It's just a nice chill night. We just had our evening walk. My mic didn't want to connect to the computer for whatever reason, so we're doing this just with the mic that it came with. All right. So Gareth is here. Good morning from London. It's 5 a.m. Ate something I shouldn't have yesterday. Oh no. The colitis is killing me. How's everyone doing? I'm sorry to hear that, Gareth. Will a little puppy help? Oh, will a little puppy help? She says, Gareth, get well soon. Be careful what you eat. Be careful. Look at how silly this dog is. She's a baby. She's a baby. She's like, help. All right, let's see what we've got here. American Revolution. Let me pick a card at random. Ooh, please not the toes. Literally anything but the toes, dude. Okay. Starting off with the 13 colonies, which we'll be doing a video about one of these colonies very soon. All right. First easy question. Is a true or false? Let me move this up here so that hopefully you can hear me a little bit better. There we go. There's the normal position. True or false? True or false? It's kind of too early to start a poll, so shipbuilding and fishing were important industries for the southern colonies. True or false? Shipbuilding and fishing were important industries in the southern colonies. This way. That is false. Good job, Veer. That was very much up in this area here in the north, not in the south. Oh, puppy. She's leaving. Oh, she'll be back. But I'm legally obliged to say you rebels scummed anything related to the American Revolution. Well, Veer picked the topic, so you blame Veer, blame the Finn. All right, this is a which one of these? Which one of these was not one of the original 13 colonies? Was it Delaware, Rhode Island, or Tennessee? Let me hide the picture just in case you guys know your colonies/states. Was it Delaware, Rhode Island, or Tennessee? And Veer knows Tennessee was not an original colony. Good job, Veer. Number 3. Oh, good job, Gareth. Williamsburg was the capital of which southern colony? Williamsburg was the capital of which southern colony? Williamsburg. It was Virginia. Good job to Veer. It was the capital of Virginia. No longer the capital of Virginia, but you can still go to Williamsburg, and they still have everything like it was in 1776. You can go see some living history there. All right, here are the hard questions about the 13 colonies. Which colony was the furthest south? Which colony was the furthest south? What was the most southern of the 13 colonies? It was Georgia. Good job, Veer. You know it. It was Georgia. What did the cities of Boston, Charleston, and New York have that made them important? Why were Boston, Charleston, and New York incredibly important cities? And Veer knows it's because of the harbors. Good job, Veer. Veer knows their American history. And Gareth, too, because they had very large harbors. I hear her eating her food, so I'm sure she'll be back in a second. Last question. Before the war, each colony had its own governor. How were most governors chosen? How did the colonies... Oh, Veer's been watching a docu-series on the Revolution. That's why Veer knows so much right now. By the Brits. I will accept that. The king appointed most of the governors. Good job, Veer. Let's do another U.S. colonies, and then we'll switch to a different topic. How about... Oh, no. How about... Ooh, this will be appropriate. Help from Europe. Help from Europe. Make sure that none of these answers are the Marquis de Lafayette, and they're not. There's a very elementary drawing of the Marquis de Lafayette. French dude, yes. Help from Europe. Number 1. This is a true or false. France supplied money, weapons, and ships to the Patriots, but refused to send soldiers. France gave... Looks like a Putin baby. It's like 8-year-old Putin. Veer says true. It's actually false. False. They did send soldiers. There's one right here. They did send soldiers. Number 2, the British hired thousands of soldiers from Germany. What were those soldiers called? Yes, to the colonists. And it gives you 3 choices, but I feel like you guys know. It is the Hessians. Good job to Veer. It was the Hessian soldiers, the Hessians. Another true or false. Italy was the first European country to declare its support for the Patriots. Veer just read The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. Man, Veer's reading up a lot about early American history. Italy was the first European country to declare its support for the Patriots. And Gareth says false, and that is correct. First of all, it was France. And second of all, Italy didn't exist when the American Revolution happened. So that's a silly... It should have been like Spain or something. A country that was actually around to really trick the children in this card game. All right, now for the hard questions. This one is a number question, So we will play high and low. You give me a number, and I'll tell you if the answer is higher or lower. And it's about this guy, Baby Putin. How much was Marquis de Lafayette paid to become one of George Washington's military aides? How much was he paid to be one of George Washington's aides? Veer got it. It was nothing. Good job. The answer is 0. He was not paid. He did it of the kindness of his heart, apparently. This is pretty easy. If you know, he did it for the vibes. Yes, he sure did. Cavalry leader Count Casimir Pulaski fought bravely for the Patriots. Where was he born? Which country was he born? Count Casimir Pulaski. Which kind of gives it away in the name. Days. Hi. Yeah, we're still here. And it was Poland. Good job, Veer. That's definitely a Polish name. Good job, Veer. It was from Poland. And this is an actual hard one. I didn't actually know this answer. What battle helped Ben Franklin convince France to help fight the British? I don't know my revolutionary battles that well. He wasn't born. It was not real. Man, it's not real. It was not Ticonderoga, not Fort Ticonderoga. See, it's like I know the battles, but I don't know like details of the battles. Again, the question is which battle helped Ben Franklin convince France to help fight the British? It was not Bunker Hill. Not Bunker Hill. Not Bunker Hill. There are a lot of very famous battles in the American Revolution. Yeah, I don't know enough about this battle to give you a hint. Let me Google it. Try to give you guys. Oh yeah, it says right here that this battle convinced France to join the military, the Patriots. It was fought between September 19th and October 7th, 1777. It was fought in New York. It was a decisive American victory, and the British Army surrendered. And it greatly affected the course of the war because it made the French decide to join. What battle am I describing in the American Revolution? The American forces were Kiora, Crystal. Hi. The battle was commanded by Horatio Gates and Benedict Arnold. Are we surrendering? This is a tricky one. This is like a deep cut. Veer doesn't know. Veer does know it, but they don't know it. It was in New York. How about this? It starts with the letter S. And then we'll move on to another topic after this one. It starts with the letter S. The Battle of Saratoga. Good job, Veer. That's the Battle of Saratoga. The Battle of Saratoga. All right, let's see. What should we do next? We have. All right, our next options: medieval times, explorers, or ancient civilizations. I know which one I want to do, but which one do you guys want to do? Come here, Days. Come here. You mixed up Ticonderoga and Saratoga. They do rhyme, so that's fair. Do the one I want. Can you guess which one I want? Daisy doesn't want to come up because she knows we're just going to sit here and not play toys or anything. Oh, but she came up anyway. Hi, baby girl. Come here, puppy. Hi. Oh, yes. Yes. The extent of my American Revolutionary historical knowledge involves covering Irish Revolutionary history inside the United States, so I'm hopeless here. That's true. Oh, not the ears. Not the ears. Please don't look at the ears. Oh, silly girl. Say hello. Oh, goodness. Oh, don't accidentally end it. Yes, definitely ancient history. No, puppy. She says, but, I want to lick. I just want to lick your face. Can you see her eyes? She has one blue eye and one brown eye. She's a chimera. Look. Oh, you can't really see in the camera. You can't really see. Okay. Let's do ancient civilizations. She is a mix of, I think, Shih Tzu and Maltese, but we don't know because she is a rescue dog. Thank you, Crystal. She's very cute. All right. What's the top one? General topics. Ooh, general topics. All right, let's see. A hoplite was a soldier from what nationality? From what modern country do hoplites come from? The soldiers known as hoplites. And it gives you options, but you guys are so smart. You guys will get it, no problem. Hoplites were from which ancient culture? They were Greek. Good job, Gareth. They were Greek. They are from Greece. Number 2, Veer got it too. Good job. It says the conquistadors destroyed the Aztec, Inca, and Mayan civilizations. Conquistadors came from what country? What country did the conquistadors come from? Of course, Spain. Good job to Veer. The answer is definitely Spain. And number 3, what ancient civilization began on the island of Crete? What ancient civilization began on the island of Crete? Crete. It was the Minoans. Good job. It just says Greek here, but we know it's the Minoans. Good job, Veer. Which the Minoans are the early Greeks anyway, so close enough. Hard questions. Careful, puppy. Don't eat those. Thank you. What ancient civilization lived in the Andean highlands? What ancient civilization lived in the Andean highlands? In the Andean highlands. I gotta attend to this puppy. Hey, girly. It was the Incas. Yeah, they weren't ancient, but I guess they were part of the old Peruvian history. So I guess, yes. Good job, Veer. They were going for the Incas, although there were many other cultures that lived in the Andean highlands. Yes, there was the Tiwanaku. Tiwanaku lived on Lake Titicaca. Yeah. Cool. Anyway, all the planets in our solar system except one is named after Roman gods. Which planet is it? Which planet is not named after a Roman god? Puppy, cute. That's a cute puppy. Look at her. That's a cute puppy. Oh no, she's licking her booty. Which of our planets was not named after a Roman god? And it is Earth. Good job, Veer and Crystal. It's Earth. And number 3, Alexander the Great invaded Persia, Egypt, and India, among others. What civilization was he the leader of before he invaded all these countries? What was Alexander the Great king of? Macedonia. Good job, Veer. Again, it just says Greek, which is not incorrect, but he was the king of Macedonia. Good job, Veer. Good job. All right. Let's pick another ancient history card at random. I think we've done enough ancient Greece. Ooh. The Nile River. The Nile River. Let's do some trivia about the Nile River. Can you tell me what would happen to the Nile River during the late summer? It's a modern geopolitical pun in there somewhere, Fear. Goodness. What would happen to the Nile River in the late summer? It would flood. Good job, Veer. The Nile River would flood. True or false? True or false? The Nile River is often described as a highway for the people of ancient Egypt. The Nile River is often described as a highway for the people of ancient Egypt. Is that true or false? Also, how's the sound with this internal mic? And it is true. Good job, Fear. Good job, Gareth. It's definitely true. Good job, Crystal. It is true. Number 3, the mouth of the Nile River is located in what present-day country? Could I be a little louder? Do you think my voice is too low? Could I increase my volume a little bit? Or should I be quieter? Just tell me. But where would you find the Nile River Delta today? It is, of course, in Egypt. Good job, Veer. It is, of course, today in Egypt. Can you tell me what were the first Egyptian boats made out of? What were the first Egyptian boats made out of? Can you guys see my tan? You can't tell on the sliding, but I've gotten so tan here in California. Stop and think it was a trick question. It was not. That was one of the easy ones. Oh, I hear doggies outside. There's doggies barking outside, puppy. Let's look. Reeds. I'll take that. It says papyrus, but papyrus reeds is close enough. Good job. Not styrofoam, Joe. No, they did not have styrofoam back then. Hump up. Number 2, why did the Egyptians... Ooh, this is a good question, actually. Why did the Egyptians build their pyramids on the western shores instead of the eastern shores of the Nile River? Why did the ancient Egyptians build their pyramids on the western shore of the Nile? Because of the sun. I'll take that. Good job, Veer. It's because that's where the sun sets. They wanted it aligned by the sunset, apparently. Good job, Veer. Because of the sun. Also, what did silt from the Nile River allow the Egyptians to do? Their tombs, sunsets west, sunset equals death. You got it, Veer. That's exactly it. That's got to be it. I should say... what did, never mind, Veer's got it. Planting and farming. Yeah, it says grow plants, agriculture. All right. Next topic. Explorers or medieval times. And we'll just rotate around. We'll go in a little order. Medieval times or explorers? Medieval times or explorers? Medieval. Good choice, Fear. And then we'll do explorers. This is explorers. Medieval times. There we go. There's also a game store where I live that has a bunch of these. Let me know if this is worth getting. If the topic ever changes to hot chocolate, you're going to. This is all history stuff, so I don't think so. What the? It's all flipped around. All right. Let's pick a random topic in here. Ooh. Okay, let's do these two. These are good ones right here. We're going to start. Veer switched minors in uni. First, you're doing teacher training, then master's in archival studies. My goodness, Veer. That's crazy. Congratulations. That's really cool. Let's start off with this dance macabre with the Black Death. The Black Death. True or false? True or false? Fleas transmitted the plague from rats to humans. Fear has a dance macabre poster. That's pretty cool. And it is true. Good job to Veer. That was true. That is how it spread. Oh, all these easy ones are true and false. So here's what I'll do. I'm going to ask you a not true and false one and then go back to true and false, just in case there's two trues in a row. I don't want confusion, you know. Can you tell me which popular children's nursery rhyme was written about the plague? Yes, fear. That is where it originated, the steppes of Central Asia, and possibly from corpses. What popular children's nursery rhyme was written about the plague? Who knows? I wonder if they have this song. No clue. They probably don't have this song in Finland. I know he sang it a lot. I sang it a lot as a little kid. Joe knows it's Ring Around the Rosie. Good job to Joe. Ring around the rosy, pocket full of posy, ashes, ashes, we all fall down. It is about the plague, apparently. There you go. Crystal knows, ring around the rosy. All right, true or false? Infected sailors and rats traveling on trading ships helped spread the plague across Europe. No finish, yeah. Infected sailors and rats traveling on trading ships helped spread the plague across Europe. And that is true. Good job to Veer. That is how it spread. Good job, Veer. That is true. Oh no. Oh no. We've accidentally said all of these. All right. It says approximately 1/3 of Europe's population died from the plague. Which continent did the plague originate? All of these other things we've accidentally said. Whoopsie. I really need to actually read all of the questions before we start talking. I know that this one's on you, Veer. This one's on you. You're the one that said this one. Which continent did the plague originate from? Excuse me. Puppy. She wants to know why we're not playing with toys. My computer's dying. All right, it's got 20% left. All right. Once this battery hits 5%, we'll end this live and maybe pick this up another day. I do go home on Monday, though. So, read a book on the plague a few months ago. It's fresh on your mind. All right. We'll just end this one here then, because the other question is, what dance is pictured on this card? It's the dance macabre. Anyway, the other one I picked, which this is the one I drew, and it's kind of appropriate, beyond medieval Europe. So, history during European medieval times, but not in Europe. Let's see what we've got here. And there's only one true or false here. It says the giant stone carvings on this card are on which island? Fear. Fear. We gotta just shut up. We have to stop flexing, pretending like we know everything. It was Rapa Nui or Easter Island. How about this one? A feudal society developed in Japan. What were Japanese knights who fought on horseback called? What was the equivalent of knights in medieval Japan? What were they known as? The samurai. Good job to Veer. They're, of course, the samurai. True or false? And I just did a video about Marco Polo, so maybe you guys will know this. Marco Polo was one of the first Europeans to visit Japan. Marco Polo was one of the first Europeans to visit Japan. True or false? True or false? Marco Polo was one of the first Europeans to visit Japan. True-ish? No, it's false. It's false. He did not go to Japan at all. He did not go to Japan. Well, that we know of. Kublai Khan might have sent him to like an island or something for an errand. But For all we know, he did not go to Japan. Oh boy, that's easy. Anyway, yeah, how would we know? Yeah, because we only know what he's told us. And then that one quote, he said that he only told like half of his story because he thought no one else would believe him about the rest. So for all we know, he could have, but for what we know, he did not. The Yuan dynasty in China was known for its cobalt and white porcelain. What shade of color is cobalt? What color is cobalt? It is blue. Good job, Tafir. That is cobalt blue. Oh no, yellow. No, it is blue. That blue and white china color. That is cobalt blue. Hey, Matthew's here. Hey, Matthew. Welcome, welcome. Can you tell me who or what was a shogun? That's what it says. Who or what was a shogun? Lots of Japan questions here on Beyond Medieval Europe. Who or what was a shogun? The leader of the shogunate, Veer. What was a shogunate? What was the shogunate? What was there something like there's a particular word you need to say to define a shogun leading the shogunate? The chief, not the emperor. Mm-mm-mm. That's the big no-no word. Not the emperor. The emperor and the shogun were two different things. What was the shogun? What was the shogun? I mean, the shogun was technically the one running the country, but what made him different from the emperor? Like a governor? In a sense. I mean, the shogun ruled all of the emperor's lands. The commander, getting closer to the word I'm looking for. Commander of what? The military ruler, that's the word. The shogun ruled the military in Japan and therefore ran Japan. He made all the rules. The emperor was just a figurehead for a couple hundred years there until the emperor took everything back, but that wasn't until way after European contact and all of that. Their first leader, it was Veer, but that's too vague. That's too easy. You were correct, but it was like saying Alexander the Great was leader of the Greeks. Like, yeah, they were Greek, but like, all right. Last question is, which of these? The stories in 1001 Nights were written during the Middle Ages. Who was not a fictional character in these stories? Was it Aladdin, Ali Baba, Kublai Khan, or Sinbad? Which one was not in the 1001 Nights? Aladdin, Ali Baba, Kublai Khan, or Sinbad? And it was, of course, Kublai Khan. Good job, Tafir. I don't think Kublai Khan was alive when the 1000. I don't think Genghis Khan is, definitely Genghis Khan. Sampi? Yeah. I don't think even Genghis Khan was alive, much less Kublai Khan. All right. Good job, everybody. Last topic before we go back to the American Revolution is explorers. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what we've got here. Let's pick a random card. Ooh. This one's called A Sailor's Life. And then we're going to do Polynesian explorers. Heck yeah, that's awesome. A Sailor's Life. Okay, I know you want to do American Revolution, puppy. We're going to do that next, okay? She's like pawing at the box. I want to do this one. Scurvy. Veer, stop. Veer, slow down. All right, there's only 5 questions here because one of them is steal a card from someone. So there's only 5 on here. What did it mean when sailors were stuck in the doldrums? There are options here, but I want to see if any of you know. Also, scurvy is not any of these answers, so good job here. Hi, Green. Not drunk, not depressed. It was depressing, Crystal, but that wasn't what caused the doldrums. What was the doldrums? It's known as stealing a card, right? Stealing a card, no. They were stuck on the boat. They were depressed. They were probably getting drunk. But what was the doldrums? It was an actual thing. Stuck doing work? Not necessary. No. An event would occur. You gotta see this puppy. That would. Thank you. All right, here's the options. The options are they were seasick, they were lost at sea, or there was no wind. Which one is it? Were they seasick? Were they lost? Or was there no wind? What was getting stuck in the doldrums? There was no wind. Good job, Fear. The doldrums meant that the wind wasn't blowing, the ship was just stuck in the water, and they're just floating around. All right. What was the common penalty for mutineers? Pup, who's that? Who's that puppy? She's like a liquid dog. The plank. Yeah, it was death. It was death by puppy. Death by puppy. She would bite. She would bite and growl. She would bite. Look at this vicious. Thrown off the boat. Yes. And then the puppy would go. And then the puppy would get you. All right, next question. What biscuit was a staple food for sailors because it could last for years on board the ship? Eaten by little chompers. Yes, you get. Oh no. A vicious animal. Tack. Good job, Veer. Hardtack, it says on here. Hardtack. Good job, Veer. Hardtack. There you go. Sailors were sometimes punished by being flogged with a 9-strapped whip. What was this whip called? Not the Spam, Joe. It was called puppy. It was called puppy bites. Cat's tail. Cat of 9 tails. I'll give that to Crystal. And bonus points to Matthew for spelling it cat o' 9 tails. Because that's how I've always known it, and that's what it says on the card. The cat o' 9 tails. Good job. Sailors crossing what for the first time underwent an initiation called the Neptune ceremony. Don't bite stuff, please. Don't bite stuff, little girl. Sailors crossing what for the first time? Not a wave. Not a wave. Sailors crossing what would... I wonder what it was. What's the Neptune ceremony? Sailors crossing what? Not puberty. No. No, when a sailor... Oh, goodness. I know I've got you. You're not going anywhere. The equator. Good job, Joe. You got it. When you cross the equator for the first time, apparently they would do a Neptune ceremony. I don't know what that is. Maybe you get splashed with seawater. I don't know. But yeah, that was that. Good job. And then, oh, that's right. Next, we're doing the Polynesians. Away, away. Oh, okay. You can go. Though, not the toes. Okay. Yes, please. True or false? All right, she's running away now. Oh, she wants to go play toys. Okay, maybe we'll just end it here and go play toys. Polynesian explorers used canoes for ocean sailing. True or false? Polynesian explorers used canoes for ocean sailing. True or false? True or false? That is true. Good job to Sampy. Good job, Crystal. It is true. Oh, she brought her toy. Get the puppy back. She's trying to, Joe. She brought one of her toys in. Let me get it. I do want the puppy back. We want puppy. Ugh. Ugh. Give me that toy. Waka. Oh, sorry, pup. She's vicious. She's a vicious beast. Give me the toy. Come here. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. I have to always make sure that the angles are good so that you don't see any like family photos anywhere in this room. They knew what they were doing. That's the Maori name for the canoe. Oh, cool. All right, next question. Because, oh, this is true and false again. So let's do, these questions aren't that good. Which of the following islands was not inhabited by Polynesians? Was it Fiji, Hawaii, New Zealand, or Samoa? Which one of these was not inhabited by Polynesians? Fiji, Hawaii, New Zealand, or Samoa? Let me get this puppy. Not Samoa. Not New Zealand. Bringing puppies back. Not New Zealand. Daisy's here to tell you that this is a trick question. This is a trick question. Good job, puppy. Good job, puppy. It's the answer is none. All of them were inhabited by Polynesians. They're trying to get you. I'm telling you, these questions aren't that good. This one's an actual question. It says, why was it difficult to piece together the history of Polynesian explorers? That's an actual question, not even a trick question. Why was it difficult to piece together the history of Polynesian explorers? They had no written language. Good job, Veer. That is the answer. They had no written language. I was supposed to do a true or false after that. Okay, 2 true and false questions. Which I don't like to do true and false back to back, but okay, true or false, because it became someone's dinner. No, Joe. Because Polynesian explorers traveled in canoes, they never traveled very far from land. True or false? Because they were in canoes, they never traveled far from land. True or false? Not true or false? That is false. Good job, Veer. They traveled very far from land. What does it say? It says sometimes they traveled over 1,000 miles. Yeah, it's very false. Good job. And then the last true and false question, which I'll cut off there just in case this one's false as well. Polynesian explorers made maps with sticks and shells. True or false? They made maps with, what do you see? They made maps with sticks or shells. True or false? Look at this dog. Look at this good girl. True or false? They made maps with sticks and shells. True or false? True or false? It is true. Good job, Sampy. It is true. They made maps with sticks and shells, and they're really beautiful if you've never seen one before. Really beautiful maps. All right, let's do, man, my phone's, I gotta charge everything. So let's do one card from each category and we'll end it there. And maybe if I have time in a few days, we'll do some more. So let's see. Let's do one from American Revolution. Let's do, oh, got it. Famous women of the American Revolution. Heck yeah. We should do this every night. I wish, Joe. I really wish. Heck yeah. All right. First one is, did Mad Ann Bailey help the Patriot cause by being a skilled nurse, scout, or soldier? Mad Ann Bailey. I have never heard of Mad Ann. Have you heard of Mad Ann Bailey? Was she a nurse, a scout, or a soldier? She was not a nurse. She was not a nurse. Was she a scout or a soldier? She was a scout. Good job, Tavir. Apparently, she scouted out things. She was a scout. Good job, Veer. Good job, Crystal. How did a young farm girl named Deborah Sampson get accepted into the Continental Army? How did a young farm girl named Deborah Sampson get accepted into the Continental Army? Cross-dress. You could put it that way, Veer. Yes, she dressed like a man. Good job, Tavir. She pulled a Mulan. Yes, Mulan style, says Matthew. She did a Mulan and disguised herself as a man. Puppy. Yeah, that's a happy girl right there. Oh, I've never heard of this. How about this? Who was Martha Custis married to? Who was Martha Custis married to? Who was Martha Custis married to? Very famous revolutionary figure. Who was she married to? It was George Washington. Good job, Pierre. That was Mrs. Washington. All right. What did, and this is her right here apparently, this is Mary Ludwig Hayes. What did she do that made her famous? She was married. George Washington was her second husband. But her first husband had passed away. She was a widow. Mary Ludwig Hayes, what made her famous? Even though I have never heard of her. Here she is. What made her famous? Artillery. Why is she at this cannon? Cannon stuff, yeah. Why is she at the cannon? Tell me what exactly she did at this cannon that made her famous. I should look this up. This is an interesting start to a story. What did Mary Ludwig Hayes do that made her famous? She's at this cannon. She's ready to, getting it ready to fire. Why is she in this situation? How did she get here? And look at her determined face. Determination. How did she get there? Meanwhile, watch this dog be cute. Give me a guess, I'll give you a hint. Just throw a guess out there and I'll give you a hint because this is an obscure story. I'm not even going to ask you this other question because I've never heard this. She probably did kill some royalists here with this cannon. But how did she get in this situation? What brought her to this cannon? There were events that happened prior to this picture here. What was it? What was it? Oh. What was it? An event happened that made her stand at this cannon. It was nothing to do with puppies. Nothing to do with puppies. She filled the cannon with blueberry muffins. That is not it, Joe. It is not food related. Your hint, because Joe gave me a guess, I gave you a hint, was that this was due to a tragedy. A tragedy occurred that made her arm this cannon. She was extra mad at her husband. Ouch. How's my hand? Well, Matthew, you are halfway there. It does have to do with her cannon. With her husband. This was her husband's cannon, but she wasn't mad at her husband. What happened to her husband that made her arm the cannon? She was not mad at her husband, but it does have to do with her husband. That was a pretty good guess. He did die. He was wounded. She was dating a British soldier who dumped her. Imagine the tea. And it says he was wounded, so she took his spot. Dun, dun, dun. That's badass. Way to go, Mary Ludwig Hayes. That's awesome. I wonder if he died. I don't know, but it says he was wounded. Hopefully he was okay. But yeah, that's a pretty great story. This other one, tell me if any of you have heard of it. Are there any Americans here? I've never heard this. It says, what nickname was given to women who brought water to wounded soldiers? And the answer is Molly Pitcher. I've never heard of that before. So I never ask you guys questions about stuff that I have no idea about. So yeah. All right. Next topic was ancient civilizations. We can put away American Revolution. Put this away. Yes, girl. You're such a good girl. Put that away. Put that up. And let's do ancient civilizations. One more card here. Let's go way ancient. Let's go to Mesopotamia. Any questions about Europe? Picture. Okay, let's do Mesopotamia and a Europe one. Europe. China, hieroglyphs, the Incas, Aztecs, Mayans. Here's just Roman Empire. All right, we'll do that. There will be some. Actually, you know what we'll do? The next one is medieval history. I'll make sure to do a European one there. That's what I'll do. 10 more cards. Oh no, my computer's dying. I gotta go to the other room and she's being cute. Get the charger and all that. So we're just gonna end it there for the night. Good job, pup. All right. True or false? The world's first empire was created in Mesopotamia. True or false? The world's first empire was created in Mesopotamia. Look at this dog. She's so cute. It is true, Sampy. Who can tell me what that empire was called? Sumer was not an empire. Sumer was conquered by this empire. What empire was it? I would tell you who led it, but that's the question. Not Atlantis and not Babylon. I think Babylon was like the second empire. What came before Babylon? I would tell you who led it, but that is literally one of the questions on here, so I'm not going to say. Not the Hittites. Way before the Hittites. Way before the Persians. Before Babylon. It was the first empire. Assyria, before Assyria. I think this empire eventually became Assyria, if I recall. But that's not how it started. I have to sneeze. Not the Lemurians. Okay, there we go. Not the Lemurians. No, look at this boob. It does start with an A. It starts with an A. What was the first empire in the world? They conquered Babylon. Thank you, Joe. They made Babylon the capital. What was it? I don't know what happened means, Veer. Is that a typo? The Abbasids? The Akkadians. Good job, Veer. Definitely not the Abbasids. Way before the Abbasids. The Akkadian Empire. Good job, Veer. It was the Akkadian Empire. What did the Mesopotamians build their cities next to? Oops, that picture kind of tells you. What did the Mesopotamians build their cities next to? The rivers. Good job, Tavir. And then don't say the names because that's going to come up in another question. But first, there's stop, Veer. No. Veer, no. Stop flexing. Stop. One of the questions, what were the two rivers essential for survival in Mesopotamia? Good job, Veer. You're ruining everything as usual. No, I'm kidding. I love you, Veer. You know that. True or false? True or false? True or false? Mesopotamia means the land between the mountains. True or false? Mesopotamia, river one and the other one. It is false. Good job, Veer. It means the land between the rivers. Oh, look, it says the names right there. The hecky. Goodness. That's silly. The land between the rivers, the Tigris and Euphrates. What modern-day country is located where most of Mesopotamia once was? Most of ancient Mesopotamia is now in which country? Which it doesn't say what it is on here. They didn't label the country, but they labeled the rivers. What country is it? It is Iraq. Good job, Matthew and Veer. It is Iraq. Now, the world's first empire was created by whom? In the year 2334 BCE, the Akkadian Empire was founded by whom? She's like, I don't know. It was not Darius. He was Persian. He was in the Persian Empire, or the Achaemenid Empire that time. Who was it, Dave? My favorite fact about this figure, Mr. Acadia? No, it was not Mr. Acadia. My favorite fact about this person in history is that his daughter was a priestess. And this guy sent his daughter to Babylon to work at the ziggurat there. And she wrote down in cuneiform, it was Sargon. Good job, Veer. Sargon the Great. Sargon the Great. She wrote down a bunch of ancient, legends and stories and rituals and day-to-day stuff. She is the earliest known author in the world that we know who she was. Ectubiana, is that her name? She's the earliest known named author, and it's a woman. Way to go, right, Days? Yes. Very cool. Although Sargon did kill a lot of people. Although, kind of a flex though, because Sargon started off as the gardener for the king of Akkad. And he just conquered his way to the top. He was literally the gardener. It's like, respect. Unfortunate to be an author whom nobody else can read. Yeah, and nobody else, nobody thought to put their name to stuff back then, you know? They weren't thinking about someday people are going to read this, blah, blah, blah. They weren't thinking that. All right. Oops, it goes over here. Because next is medieval times. There's nothing in this book. Medieval times. And we'll do one about Europe. Let's see. Specifically about Europe. Ooh, here we go. The Inquisition. Oh, they're getting burned at the stake. Watch, one of the questions is how did they execute? Let's talk about, no one expects. Make sure there's no, okay, the Spanish Inquisition. Make sure there's no Spain on here. All right, first question. Nobody expected that. Yes, Matt. A heretic was someone who had religious beliefs that differed from those of what institution? Are you a heretic, Daisy? Do we need to investigate you for heresy? Catholics. Good job, Crystal. It was the Roman Catholic Church. If you didn't follow their rules, you were a heretic. Good job, Crystal. True or false? Only female heretics were burned at the stake. Don't worry, Daisy. They're not going to burn you at the stake for being a heretic. Who's this pupper? This is Daisy. I'm here back in California because I'm dog sitting this sweet girl. And I'll be here for a few more days. It was false. Veer got that first, and Crystal. They burned all kinds of people at the stake. Look at these poor dudes with only their bangs. These poor monks getting burned. All right, that's another true or false. So let me skip that and come back to that. Interesting. Which occurred first? The medieval Inquisition, the Roman Inquisition, or the Spanish Inquisition? Which one was first? The medieval Inquisition, the Roman Inquisition, or the Spanish Inquisition? It was not the Roman, apparently. That would have been my guess. It's not the Roman. Everyone's saying Roman. According to this, it's not. I would have said Roman too. I don't blame you guys. I guess I'll leave the stream up. What do you think? Yes. Oh, no. I got licked. It was apparently the medieval Inquisition, which I don't know the difference between these, so we'll just move on. That was my ankle popping. A papal bull was an announcement meant for the entire Catholic world. From whom was it sent? Who issued papal bulls? It's kind of in the name. It was definitely the Pope. Good job, Veer. The Pope, even today, can issue a papal bull. What do you... Look at this alert dog. Oh my gosh. Something's very important happening, apparently, in dog world. You don't want to play toy? Daisy Bell. The Pope's pet bull. No. Daisy. You don't want to play toys anymore? Silly girl. All right. What did the papal bull entitled Ad Extirpanda allow inquisitors to do to suspected heretics? What did the papal bull entitled Ad Extirpanda allow inquisitors to do to suspected heretics? And it was torture them. Good job to Veer. I didn't know that. I'm not apparently that good at Latin to know that that means torture. Good job, Veer. And here's a true and false to wrap up the Inquisition. It says, suspected heretics who confessed were usually sentenced to death. True or false? Yeah, Puppy really wants to go play with all her toys. She really wants to go play with, not just sit here and let me dangle a toy at her. She really wants to go run and stuff. So it was actually false, Sampy. It says most were given penance or fines. It was false. They only killed the ones who said that they were innocent. That's horrible. Kind of like a witch hunt, right? All right, last card. So I can go attend to this pup and we can start getting ready for bed because we've been getting nice sleepy times. Explorers. Last card. I'll let you guys choose between this one, And let's see, this one. Okay. Oh, I'm at 5% battery too. Gotta go. If this ends abruptly, it's because the computer died. All right, gotta go quick. Do we want underwater exploration? Do we want Charles Darwin or the Vikings? Thanks, Fear. You're welcome. I'll try to do this again maybe tomorrow night if I'm so inclined. Fear says Vikings. Matthew says Diving Bell. Sampy says Vikings. It's looking good for the Vikings right now. I think we'll do Vikings. Sorry, Matthew. Let me give you one of these. Let me give you one ocean one. After many unsuccessful attempts by others, what did the crew aboard the research vessel the Nore discover on the bottom of the North Atlantic Ocean in 1985? What did the research vessel the Nore discover? It was the Titanic, of course. I'm like, which one should I do? Oh, the one about the Titanic. Good job here. All right, Viking questions. And then I'll depart for the evening. What did the Vikings name North America? Oh, she's being cute. What did the Vikings name North America? What did they call North America? Well, very close. What did they actually call it? Viking Land, USA? No. Definitely didn't call it USA, dude. What do they call it, Veer? I have to go. My computer's dying and the puppy's sad. Wine country? Gosh, you guys are so close. What do they call it in Viking language? Not Newfoundland. I mean, they were on Newfoundland, but they didn't call it that. They did name it Wine Country, but that's not the name I'm looking for. Not Valhalla. That's their afterlife. Well, not them, because they were Christian by then. Yes. Oh my goodness, did you hear that vicious dog? Where that puppy lives? Puppyland. Do you guys not know? Like, legit? You guys said wine country so many times. Oh, hi, girl. You're so cute. You're so cute. I'm at 4%, guys. Hurry. It's gonna die. Do we really not know? All right, I'll give it to you guys. It's Vinland, which means vine, like wine land. Vinland, they called it. Which today it's Newfoundland. No idea. Yeah, now you know it's Vinland. Veer says I wrote wine country. No, but I wanted the actual name, Vinland, which means wine country. Veer and I said it. My goodness, I wanted Vinland. I'm gonna cover up all these. Vinland. That's the name I needed. Hello from Fin. Wait, we've got. Oh, you know what? It is. It is auto translating it. You guys are so right. The chat is translating Finland. That's so funny. Wow, they said Vinland. Yes, it's auto-correcting on my end. That's so funny. That's funny, Daisy. There's got to be a way to turn that off. That's funny. Well, now I know. What an interesting way to know that is a new feature. Anyway. Who founded the first Viking settlement on Greenland? Who founded the first Viking settlement on Greenland? Mustache took. It was not Leif Erikson, it was his dad. It's kind of I kind of gave it to you. Greenland was Eric the Red. Yes, good job. Greenland was Eric the Red. Yeah, Eric. Eric the Red founded the first Viking settlement on Greenland. And Leif Erikson was one of his sons. Oh, I'm at 3%. All right. All right. And then, and the only other good question here, the answer is Newfoundland. So, Leif Sr. All right. How about this, true or false? Most Viking warriors wore helmets adorned with horns. True or false? Throw this dog toy. She's left the room. True or false? That is, of course, false. They did not wear those helmets. Vikings didn't have horns. Sampy, you called it. Amazing. I have the smartest subscribers on YouTube. That's just all there is to it. I have the smartest subscribers on YouTube. Anyway, this thing's about to die. The puppy is waiting to go play with like fetch and balls and all that. So I'm going to go do that. I'm going to charge this up. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'll try to do this again before I leave. If not, that's because I am chilling and vibing here in California. I actually have a surprise that I've planned for Friday that I haven't told a single soul about. A surprise. I hope you guys like it. Because I feel like if I tell someone, they're going to talk me out of it. But I'm going to do it anyway. So I'm going to leave it at that. Bye, everyone. Thanks for hanging out. Gosh, this was an hour long. Holy moly. I didn't mean for it to be that long. Bye, you guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.